Welcome to MyCare. My name is Emily Anderson and today is Wednesday the 8th of December. Earlier this week I sat down with Danesh Krishnan. John is a member of Blind Citizens Australia. Let's take a look. Hi John, it's so good to have you on MyCare Channel today. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great as well. I'd love to have a chat just about support services in Australia for people with vision impairment. But first, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm from Singapore. I came to Australia to study at the University of Tasmania. I arrived here at the beginning of 2020, and I've been here ever since.
Great. And you're involved with Blind Citizens Australia. Who are they? What's your involvement and what are they all on about?
They are an organization dedicated to blind people, blind individuals, both of all ages, all over Australia. And they assist in basic connections, building relationships, as well as policy work. So my involvement in Blind Citizens Australia came when one of the members of BCA invited me to join the Tasmanian committee of BCA to help out with the committee work which they were doing. I was predominantly invited because of my experience in Singapore, so that I could bring a different perspective to the table. I'm also involved in the National Policy Council, which brings out policies such as pedestrian safety audio description. So I'm the Tasmanian representative on the council.
Great. We'll talk a bit more about pedestrian assistance and those support and policy work that you do. But first, you mentioned that you're from Singapore and you have experience in Singapore. What was it like over there for you?
I would have to say that the experience over here in Australia was much better as compared to the experience in Singapore. We had great services in Singapore. I wouldn't say that they were bad by any stretch of the word, but the experience here has been predominantly excellent throughout. When you speak about even audio description at the cinema, for instance, that has come in quite useful, as well as the relationships I've been able to build with other blind people in Australia. I was not able to do that back in Singapore. So I take this experience as a learning experience, which I've quite enjoyed over here.
It's good to hear that you're able to take some of your experience from over there and apply it here and just see the differences in the two countries. Yeah. Really good to hear. Could you then give me an example? What does a day in the life of someone who's visually impaired look like in terms of what services they require and the different means that they can use to get about and live their life in Australia?
So there are different organizations in Australia which you could possibly approach if you require certain services. So the organizations which I have mainly approached would be firstly Guide Dogs Tasmania. So they provide mobility services. So day-to-day living, mobility assistance around the places which you live. So it doesn't only have to be guide dogs based. It can also be, using your white cane to move around. So if you have a place which you need to go to, like say a university or a workplace, you could engage them to assist you in getting to those places, and they would be able to do that for you. And um, this has this was a service which I found quite valuable when I first came to Australia. Another organization would, of course, be Blind Citizens Australia. So for them, it's more of a relationship building platform for me, because I've been able to find um, good friends over there. Because, for instance, during the lockdowns over here in Tasmania, we had happy hours every week where we would gather over Zoom um, to talk about how we were doing, um, what requirements we needed, what services we needed, so that we could just connect to each other instead of simply staying where we were and just, going through day-to-day life alone.
Yeah.
And yeah, and BCA also um, provides leadership building opportunities if you are willing to take those up, which I've not done thus far because of university commitments. But those are some interesting opportunities which are out there with BCA.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of support for people who are vision impaired. From your experience or what you've observed in Australia, can you pinpoint any areas that you think need a bit more support, or where we can look towards in the future for better accessibility?
I have always been interested in audio description, because coming from a country which does not have audio description either on TV or the cinema, for example, when I came here to Australia and I saw that the cinemas over here, they provide audio description for movies, that really made me very happy and made me very thankful for the people and organizations which have fought tirelessly to bring audio description to the cinema. And as of last year, if I'm not mistaken, um, um, certain TV channels have started to provide um, audio descriptions on TV. Um, uh, I believe it was about 20 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah, that's right.
it wasn't for all um, it wasn't for all TV shows. So I would prefer it, or I'm sure many blind people all over Australia would love it if that was increased as the years go by, because it's truly a different experience watching TV shows with and without audio description, because it takes away from the experience of the TV shows if you do not have um, an audio description. You would not know what is going on, the expressions, for instance, and what is being done, which is not spoken by the characters. So this has always been something which has been close to my heart, because I have had experiences of both worlds, having it and not having it, and I can clearly state what a difference it makes to actually have it.
I wanted to hear a little bit more about the community that you've found as a blind person in Australia. Are there support services or areas where you're able to connect with other people? You mentioned a little bit about Zoom. What else is there on the cards?
There have always been Zoom ever since COVID-19 started. I can only speak from that timeline because before that, I was not in Australia. But when it comes to community, even now, happy hours are being run by BCA. So we could connect around hobbies. For instance, there is a book club which you could join over Zoom to talk about the different books which you like. There is a music group which you could join. In fact, the music team, they produced a song which was broadcast on the AGM of BCA, which was held last Saturday, which is up on their website now. So there are a lot of interest groups which BCA provides, and there are more groups than I have mentioned over here. So if anyone is interested, they could just go in and join one of those groups, because there's always an area which you would be interested in. And if there isn't a group for you, you could start one, and they are very open to it. They have always asked if anyone is interested in a topic area which is not currently in session. You could always write to BCA, and based on interest for that particular area, they would help you start those groups.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Thank you so much for sharing a bit about what it's like in Australia to be blind. I think it's incredible that there are so many support services and accessibility programs going on, and I'm sure that Blind Citizens Australia is doing such good work in the future for that. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you sometimes feel you need help, but that finding the right help is just too hard? At MyCare Channel, we'll make it easier. We'll cut through the maze of information and help you make an informed decision about help for yourself or your loved one. We offer free information in English and progressively in 26 other languages. So call us on 1300 461 300, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on our socials. And we'll connect you with the support you need to live well and age well.